Well, Beth, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Beth Callihan. I'm from Barbourville, Kentucky, and I am a physical therapist. Just graduated from Western Kentucky University, where I got my degree. I did 3 years undergraduate in biology, and then I went ahead and applied for PT school where I did 3 more years.
Excellent. Okay. I have a few questions for you based on what our company needs and to find out about you and your abilities. What is your greatest strength?
I would say my greatest strength is working with people. I love to be around people. Since a young age, I've always been a people person. Well, I can communicate well and make people feel comfortable. So I think that would go well with a physical therapist, being that I would have to work with patients every day and I would need to have the ability to make them feel comfortable.
Okay, excellent. That's a good thing to have. But what do you see as your greatest weakness?
Sometimes I struggle with maybe letting people walk all over me or feeling bad for people, giving in easily. Like if someone says, oh, well, I don't have enough money to pay for that, I'm bad to be like, oh, well, it's okay, you will just do it on the side, which can sometimes be a bad thing. And so, I would say that's a weakness of mine.
All right. So why do you want to work for this organization?
I want this job because I really I'm eager to get into the workforce. I'm eager to get a job as a PT and start helping patients. Being in school for 6 years, you're ready to go, and just eager to get started.
That's understandable, yes. But what stands out about our organization that makes you want to work for us?
I really love the patients and the employer's connection. You can tell, I've been there, I have shadowed, and I can tell that all the workers, all the PTs and PT techs really care about their patients, and they really want what's best for their patients. I just want to be a part of that. It's such a great thing.
Okay, thank you. So why did you leave your last job?
My last job was just a part-time job at a physical therapist's office. I was just a tech, not a PT yet. So I was just working to kind of get some experience, learn as much as I could about the workforce and kind of get myself ready. But then as I started graduate school, I didn't have as much time, so I had to leave that job, and now I'm ready to get back in it.
Ready to get out there, huh? Okay. Give me your best accomplishment, something you're proud of.
Let's see. I'm really proud of making the Honors College at Western Kentucky University. I was very excited to get into that program. It was an amazing program.
That is a good accomplishment. And what are your future goals? You want to be a physical therapist, but do you have anything beyond that you want to do? Or are you, what are you interested in doing in the future?
I've always wanted to be a physical therapist, but I would love to go beyond that, and come out with new things, new ways to help people. Maybe even go back and get another degree, like biomed engineering, and come out with technology like artificial limbs, kind of combine them both.
Excellent. Okay, and why should we hire you?
I think you should hire me because I'm excited. I'm new, I'm fresh, I'm ready to work, and I'm passionate about what I do. I'm excited to start as a physical therapist and put everything I have into it.
Okay. And what are your salary expectations?
I would like to start out at about $60,000 a year.
Okay. And if I were to ask your professors to describe you, what would they say?
I think that one thing that really stands out about me is my passion, and I think that that's evident in my work, in my classwork, so my professors really would notice how passionate I am about physical therapy and helping people and really everything I do. If I'm going to do it, I'm all in.
Would you see yourself as a dedicated employee?
I would say I am very dedicated.
Okay. And do you have any questions for me?
I don't think I do.
Okay. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you, and we will let you know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Take this. It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. You take care. You did very well, by the way. Good eye contact.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your resume?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about your greatest strength? What is your greatest strength?
I would say my greatest strength is my passion and determination and my drive to just be successful.
What is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness is my ability to just follow along when I don't necessarily, because followers and leaders are both very important, and sometimes I have a hard time being a follower when I know that that's equally as important as being a leader. So that's something I know I have to work on.
And why do you want to work for this organization?
I want to work for this organization to, I am eager to become a physical therapist and get in the workforce. After graduating PT school, I'm ready to get started and get going, and I've heard so many great things about this place, so I'm ready to get started.
Why did you leave your last job?
My last job was a physical therapist tech, actually at this organization, and I started as co-op my senior year in high school, and I continued that all through my undergraduate. Then when I entered PT school, I knew that I needed to focus more on school, and I wasn't going to have time to keep working, so I had to let that job go.
Okay. What's your best accomplishment?
My best accomplishment, or rather my favorite accomplishment, is getting into Western Kentucky's Honors College. I had such a great time, met so many amazing people and connections that I will use for the rest of my life. I met other people interested in physical therapy that I know I will continue to be in contact with as I work and grow as a physical therapist. And my education was phenomenal. They had awesome teachers in their honors college, so I was really honored to get to be a part of something so great.
So, keeping that in mind, what are your future goals?
My future goals are to be here in this company as a physical therapist, and maybe even go back to school, actually to go back to school and be a biomedical engineer, get a degree in that, and then bring it back to this company to make advancements in artificial limbs and things like that to advance my physical therapy degree.
Okay. As you know, we have several people that are interviewing for this job. Why should we hire you?
I think that you should hire me because I'm passionate. I just got out of physical therapy school, and I know all the new techniques, all the new technology. I'm driven and determined to be a physical therapist, and I cannot wait to get in the field and apply all that I've learned over the last 6 years.
So, what are your salary expectations?
I would like to, I think that a good salary expectation is what you all think, you all expect out of me with my expertise. So I think we can all negotiate something out of that.
What would your professors say about you?
I think my professors would say that I'm very driven and determined. I make everything I do a priority, and I make sure that I work as hard as I can in what I do. And I think that that's very evident in my classwork and in my labs. I think that any professor you ask would be able to say she's passionate and hardworking, maybe even a little stubborn in her ways, because I'm very driven to get what I want and work hard for what I want.
Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'm Joe, and I'm told that we need to speak louder than either of us did the last the last time. So it's very nice to meet you, and
Nice to meet you.
I see that you're interested in working with our company.
I am.
And what interests you about our company?
I want to apply for a physical therapist position.
Okay.
Your company interests me because it is such a great company. The patient and physician communication and just relationship just is amazing to me. I think I just really want to be a part of something so great.
Well, how do you know about that?
I started as in high school. I was a tech as in co-op
Okay.
my senior year at your company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have some first-hand knowledge
Yeah.
then about it.
A little experience.
All right. Did you go to Knox Central or Lynn Camp?
Knox Central.
Knox Central. All right. Very good. Let me ask you then, since you have that first-hand experience, why should we hire you? What do you have to bring to this job?
Well, I just got out of, I just graduated from Western Kentucky University, where I got my degree as a physical therapist. So I'm up on all the new technology, all the new ways and procedures. I'm fresh mind and very passionate, and I'm ready to get started as a physical therapist.
All right, that's great. Do you have any particular salary expectation?
I would like to start out at about $70,000.
About 70,000. Okay. How did you come up with that figure?
I've done a lot of research about starting salaries, and most of them have been, and the average physical therapist makes about 79, but I would like to start out at least 70, as a new, and then maybe a little more experience, start making more money.
Okay. In the last, let's say, 3 years, what's been your greatest accomplishment?
I was really proud of making the honors college at Western Kentucky University. That was a big accomplishment for me, and it was a great thing. I met lots of people, made many connections, and I continued that as I went on into physical therapy. I was also proud of making Western's physical therapy college. It's a new college. It's only been, I think they've only had it maybe 2 or 3 graduating classes. So my class would be like the 4th. So that's an awesome thing, So and it's brand new, all new technology, all new ideas. It's just a great thing to be a part of.
All right. What do you consider to be your greatest weakness?
I would say my greatest weakness is, I would say maybe being a little bit gullible. I'm easily too convinced that, like if someone was saying, oh, well, I don't really have enough money for that, I'd be like, oh, it's okay, I'll help you on the side, And that can be definitely a weakness at some points, because sometimes you just have to stay firm and what's right, do what's right. And especially in the workforce, So that's something I knew I had to work on, because you have to follow procedure no matter what,
Okay. So you might be easily led by
Yeah.
other people. Okay. What about your greatest strength?
I would say my greatest strength is definitely my passion and dedication. I'm so passionate about physical therapy. I knew from a young age that that's exactly what I wanted to do, and I've made it my absolute goal to do all I can to be as successful as possible as a physical therapist, and go to the best school that I think is best for me and work hard. So that's definitely a strength that I want to carry into the workforce.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
In 3 years, see myself as a physical therapist working with patients that I'm passionate about helping. I would like to start a family. I would like to maybe even go back to school and go to school again and become a biomedical engineer and make further advancements in physical therapy with that degree.
All right. So it sounds like you are very determined to be somebody that might be a trendsetter in the field.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. If I were to ask your professors or any of the people that you've worked with in physical therapy to describe you, what one word would they use?
I would say determined.
Determined.
Maybe some would even say stubborn, because I'm very set in my ways and driven to get what I want and what I set my mind to.
Okay. So if you're set in your ways, I assume that that means you have good leadership skills.
I do, actually.
What about follower skills? You can lead, but can you follow? And can you follow if you don't agree with something?
You know, honestly, that might be another one of my weaknesses. It is sometimes hard to follow if I don't agree. If I agree, I'm absolutely, let's do it, whatever you say. But if it's something that I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know about that, I do find it hard for me to follow and still go along with it. But I do know when it's necessary to speak up and say, oh, I don't agree with that, and when I need to just let it go and be like, yeah, just do what I'm told.
What questions might you have for me?
I would like to know what do you think that I would excel in your company? Do you think I would be a good fit?
Well, I think that you would excel in motivating other people because of your passion and your determination. A lot of times people in any job get weary of what they're doing, and they might get discouraged, and you sound like a person that would not be easily discouraged.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I don't think so. I hope to see you soon.
All right. Let me give you 2 pieces of feedback. Okay. When I ask where you see yourself in 3 years, talk about where you see yourself in 3 years here on this job. In other words, rising higher in this job, because an employer does not want to spend money to hire you and train you and think that within 3 years you're going to be leaving to go somewhere else. So all the things that you talked about are fine, but talk about them in terms of doing it on this job. Okay. The other thing your salary expectation. Salaries vary from different parts of the country, and this would be your first full-time job after graduation. It's not necessarily wrong to state a salary, but many employers, if you come up immediately with a number, will think that's a little brash, and that might not be where their head is in offering somebody a starting salary. My answer to that, and it's always worked for me, is I would like a starting salary that meets your expectations and my expertise. That puts it on them, and it says, you have my credentials. During this interview, you're finding out what I can do. And if that meets your expectations, if you think we're a match, then offer me a salary that's worth it. It's just a suggestion, but I would do something like that rather than immediately coming up. And when they offer you a salary, you can always negotiate. Now, if they offer you a $50,000 salary and you want 70, then you don't try to push for 70. You can push for more than 50, but if there's a $20,000 gap, you're probably not going to get to 70, but you can still negotiate. And sometimes the negotiation isn't always for money. Sometimes it can be for additional vacation, additional benefits, etc. But you did great. I'd hire you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Good to meet you. Somebody else
Hi,
can.
how are you?
Okay, good. I'm Beth Callihan.
Start. All right, Annabeth, what would your dream job be?
I'm a physical therapist.
Okay. What is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is my passion and drive to be the best I can and to be the best physical therapist I can.
What's your greatest weakness?
I would say that my greatest weakness is following along with things that I don't necessarily agree with, or being a follower instead of a leader, because we have to have both. I know that's very important.
Why do you want to work for this organization?
I would like to work for this organization because I have been there, I've shadowed, and even as a senior in high school, I was a tech at your organization, and I just have been absolutely mesmerized by the patient and physician relationship, and how well the patients are connected with the physicians, and how well they just get along, and the physicians really care, and you can really tell.
Why did you leave your last job?
My last job was as a tech working in the physical therapy office, and I did that all through my undergraduate at college. But then when I got into physical therapy school, I just didn't have time for it anymore, so I had to give that up. Which it was something I was really passionate about and I really enjoyed doing. So I was sad to give it up, but I knew I had to concentrate on school for physical therapy.
Give me your best accomplishment.
My greatest accomplishment was, I would say, getting into the Honors College at Western Kentucky University. I loved the Honors College. I enjoyed meeting so many new people and really getting to connect with people that are just as driven as me.
What are your future goals?
My future goals are to be here working, and just make advancements. Eventually I would like to go back to school and get a degree in biomedical engineering and bring it back here to make advancements in artificial limbs and all kinds of things, just apply it to physical therapy.
Why should we hire you?
I think you should hire me because I just graduated PT school and I'm passionate, I'm ready, my mind is fresh. I just got out of school. They made all kinds of new advancements on all the new technology, all the new ways that physical therapists use. So I think I'll be a good asset to your.
Okay, what are your salary expectations?
I would say the salary expectation is, I would say what you expect and from what I can do, and then we can negotiate.
If I were to ask your professors to describe you, what would they say?
I think that they would describe me as passionate, just determined to do good and to try my best in everything I do.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, awesome. That concludes our interview, and we'll be in touch.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
I'm Beth Callihan.
And what is the position?
Physical therapist.
All right, Annabeth, what would you say your greatest strength is?
I would say my greatest strength is my determination and my passion. I'm very passionate to get out in the workforce and show all that I've learned in physical therapy school.
What about your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness is my ability to follow, because I know that leaders and followers are both very important. And sometimes I'm okay with following if I agree with what the leader says, but if I have a conflict with it, sometimes I struggle with following. So I think that's something I need to work on. Because there's times when you have to be a leader and there's times when you have to be a follower. And I know both of them are very important.
Why do you want to work for this organization?
I want to work for this organization because I started out there as a tech in high school, and then I continued working there all through undergraduate, and I just fell in love with the organization, fell in love with the patient and physician just relationship and the way that the physicians really cared for the patients. And the atmosphere of the place, I really loved it. So I knew I wanted to come back once I got my physical therapy degree, but I had to stop working there because I got into PT school and I knew that I needed to focus on school and I wasn't going to have enough time to work there.
So why did you leave your last job?
That was my last job, and I left it so I could focus on school.
Thank you. Give me your greatest accomplishment.
My greatest accomplishment is getting into PT school at Western Kentucky. It is a very prestigious college, and the application and the selection process is very, very competitive. So I was proud, and I was really happy with that.
For sure. So what are your future goals?
My future goal is to be here working and making advancements in physical therapy. I would like to go back to college and get a degree in biomedical engineering eventually and bring it back here so I can make advancements in artificial limbs and just new technology for physical therapy.
There's a lot out there.
Why should we hire you?
I think you should hire me because I'm eager to get to work. I'm eager to apply all the things I've learned. I've just graduated PT school and I have a fresh mind with new ideas. I am updated on all the new procedures, and I'm very passionate and ready to get to work.
So what salary expectation would you have for this job?
I think that together we can come up with a salary that meets your all's expectations and my expertise.
If I were to ask your professors to describe you, what would they say?
I think they would describe me as passionate and determined. I've always been very, even at a young age, very set in my ways and determined to get what I want. Maybe even a little stubborn. So I've always, worked hard for the things I want, and I think that's very evident in my schoolwork and my labs. So I think any professor would describe me as determined.
All right. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
All right. I'm glad your mama's used to stubborn girls because she's got my granddaughter this year. She's one stubborn.
She's got two, so she knows. She knows how to handle it.
All right. Thank you.